Reflecting on things, it's clear why some men hold these beliefs. Many men perceive that women view dating as a path to attain financial independence. And don't even get me started on the pie-in-the-sky expectations these contemporary women harbor. All because they hold the keys to intimacy, right? They gatekeep sex. Engaging with modern women in the dating game just doesn't seem like a worthwhile pursuit.
A friend, we were having some drinks. It was a reunion, and he and I were chatting in the rooftop with this beautiful view. So we were drinking, smoking cigars, and let's just call him O. So O, I know you are a single father as well. I know you're divorced. So tell me, what do you do when you feel alone? What do you do now that you are single and dealing with this new life? He was just telling me that it was it wasn't a nasty divorce, but it was quite painful. Thankfully, she decided to be more of a cordial resolution. So she kept a car, a house, and he had to move out. And now he's living with his parents, and they share custody. He was having a good time with his situation, you know. And by that I mean he has a bit of peace of mind. He enjoys the time that he spends with his daughter. But yeah, I mean, he was saying, you know what? I hate dating now. I hate dating. I don't date anymore. And I was like, well, tell me, what do you mean? And I'm just going to describe him. He's shorter than me. I'm probably 5'11", 5'10". I am 170 pounds, and he's shorter than me, probably 5'7", maybe. He's darker than me, darker skinned than me. He's not bad looking, and he goes to the gym and he's like really built, you know. He dresses nice, and he's a good guy, you know. He's a good guy. So he started explaining, you know what, I dislike it. I dislike dating now. I can't stand wasting my time like that. And I'm like, well, what do you mean? Well, if I go out with a younger girl, they're all inexperienced. They want me to decide everything. They're always taking pictures about themselves. The social media is filled with themselves, with food and the places they go and visit. They're not that very interesting. They're beautiful and hot, but I don't see myself, pursuing a relationship with any girl like that. And then when I try to date my age or older, well, they all have problems. They all are recently single, like we are. So they're dealing with that breakup. They're dealing with emotions. They probably are dealing with divorce. Some of them have kids. And I don't want to have any more kids, he says. By the way, he's 35 or 36 years old. He was like, sometimes I cannot connect with them. So it's like going on a first date, probably a second and third date, and I'm optimistic, but there's nothing there, and it we stop seeing each other. But then they expect me to pay everything, and if they have a problem, then they ask me for money. And I'm tired of that. I'm dealing with my wife, I'm dealing with my girl, with my daughter, and I'm not in a position to give out money. I have money, but I don't want to give it for free. And there are some times that I'm really lonely, and I want some touch and release, some care, some loving touch and release. I understand everything that you've been saying. I understand. And he's like, well, I realized that I don't want to date anymore. To me, it's extremely easy and logical and more reasonable to go to a place that I know that there will be beautiful women, amazing bodies, that will be hot, and I just need to pay in order to have a good time, have a laugh, and by the end of the night, I'll score, I'll have sex, I'll have fun, it'll be a great time, and it will be fun and straight to the point. Because in some of those dates, I'm spending money on first date, second date, third date, and by the third date or fourth date, it's not even sure that I'm going to be having anything, back. I want sex.
Men have always, and still do, pay for sex, often paying with their attention and time. Much of what this guy highlighted seems to resonate with about 90% of men's experiences. Picture this. You approach a woman, or maybe you shoot her a message on a dating app. You both plan a date, and you're cool with her picking the spot. But then she goes for the ritziest place in town. You meet up, and bam, she pulls out the 3-date rule. You're thinking more about love, but she's got this thing about sex taking center stage. After the date, she suddenly got car trouble. Her dad's fallen ill out of nowhere, and she's stranded in the middle of who knows where. It's like dating has transformed into some strategy for women to have their bills footed. Of course, you've got these simps tossing money her way because they're, well, a bit too excited. If you've been in the dating arena for a while, you're probably nodding along. There was this one time I was almost ready to give Western women a chance. I had a heart-to-heart with a more traditional Western woman, and it looked promising. She believed a man should provide. We chatted for hours. I decided to shift my perspective on Western women, only to be hit with a barrage of news stories. It was either a woman was knee-deep in paternity fraud or divorcing her husband for his bank account. Honestly, Western women might be a lost cause. Now, let's touch on the issue of paying for sex. Look, you're not paying escorts for the physical stuff. It's not like intimacy is in short supply these days. What you're really shelling out for is an exit ticket right after. You're paying to dodge the baggage, the financial drain, the time suck, and the energy drain that modern women can bring. Let me be clear. I'm not endorsing the sex trade. It's illegal in most places, but if the law's okay with it where you are, well, you do you. It's probably the simplest way to get your kicks without the child support and alimony nightmares. So, for all my fellow men going their own way, how do you blow off steam? Share your thoughts in the comments, no judgment zone. Now, about the only thing I can throw your way. Friends with benefits. Yep, FWB. You both want just sex, and that's the deal. But beware of the de facto relationship trap. You know, that thing where you shack up and act like a couple without the paperwork. They share lives, homes, and plans, but skip the marriage part. And guess what? You could end up legally bound in unexpected ways: property, financial support, even custody. Now, since we're dodging that bullet, let me give you a roadmap to avoid the de facto rabbit hole. 1. Speak your truth. Don't beat around the bush, tell your FWB partner what you're about. De facto. No thanks. 2. Keep finances distant. Don't go merging bank accounts and credit cards with your FWB. Separate those bucks. 3. Space out living. If you're not ready for the roommate game, keep your spaces separate. No shared toothbrushes here. 4. Sidestep the common law snare. Did you know that living together for a while could inadvertently tie you legally? Learn your area's laws and dodge this commitment pitfall. It's a bit heartbreaking that society's turned relationships into this loophole-finding exercise. It's like men weren't meant to win the dating game from the start. The government's kinder against us here, and like I said, hit up the comments and let's talk about how you guys blow off steam. No judgments here, it's all in the open. And that's it for today on Sigma Traits. Make sure you hit that like button, smash that subscribe button, And don't forget to ring that notification bell so you can be the first to know when my new video drops. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. See you all tomorrow.